You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
All right, Rebels, here we go again, another debacle. It's going down. It's going to be stupid. It's, yeah. We're going to try to keep it light. We're going to try to have it fun, even in the light of the little bit of tragedy that almost bestowed us there as we get rolling here. Y'all right there, Moose? You can't hear nothing. Looking at it, man. The cat must have been playing with it. Anyway, it's a crazy sports world, and I woke up yesterday, or not woke up yesterday, but yesterday during the day was like, oh no, we're not having a start to a year like this in sports, and thank goodness. So that elephant in the room will be the topic of discussion. NBA action, a whole lot of other just mess. NHL's going on. We're going to get after it. So text line will be open for you. And let's do this thing. So without further ado, let's do the do that we do at DSR2. I am Scrappy, and here's your host, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we are back here for another edition of DSR2 on this glorious Wednesday here in the D. No, it is not snowing. It is not frigid cold. It was like 50 degrees outside. And the sun was shining. The birds were chirping. I was walking around in a windbreaker. It was awesome.
It was nice. The sun come out. There's a little bit of wind here and there, but not enough to discourage you.
No.
It was very nice. Very, very nice.
So again, the snow wasn't fully gone yet. If it was, the golf courses would be packed. That doesn't matter on there. So they're talking again. Looks like as we're going to be okay. 40s for the next couple days and a 50 again for Sunday. So we'll talk about that.
Nice.
It's going to be nice. We got the NFL free agency going on there. The rumors going out there. The craziness that's going on.
Yes.
We got NBA action. We'll talk about that on there as well. And again, looks like Houston may be waiving Boogie Cousins, and we're going to talk about where he's going to go because it's pretty obvious.
Well, I mean, I think that's the obvious token for anybody that, like, quote unquote, gets cut, right? I'm a firm believer that the Pistons were going to cut Blake Griffin, and he would land
with the Lakers.
With the Lakers, because why not? You're going to get paid from the Pistons, and then you can go there super cheap and possibly win a championship, and they'll be glad to take you, even if you only play every fucking third game.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So, because right now, the story of the NBA is Brooklyn. I don't give a fuck. Like, they're doing things we didn't think they'd be pulling off. James Harden is all of a sudden a great facilitator of the basketball. So I will go back and swallow them fucking words because I fucking said, like, when we nitpick this thing and we put those three together, we're like, there's not enough basketballs on the planet for all three of them fucking guys. And what the fuck is Harden all of a sudden become a great facilitator of the basketball? Well, yes, I guess he fucking did. So I should just shut my goddamn mouth. But
yes. He's only leading the league in assists.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the fuck? So
and he's like third or fourth in the league in scoring on top of it.
So I have to swallow them. I got to, man. If I'm gonna go Scrappy Damas when I hit, I gotta swallow them words when I miss. It's all about credibility, baby. So it is. It's not what we expected. They gelled together much quicker. They found a way to kind of play, and they're beating cats with their best player on the bench. So, and that's the difference maybe with LA, right? When you look at the Lakers, without AD, they have a little bit of issues there. And sometimes with teams, and LeBron has not played this many minutes since he was like 20-something years old. And
It's gonna take its toll.
that doesn't add up well when you get to the end of the year. We know that. Like, I don't care how Superman he wants to be and act and all this other nonsense. We already know the story. A short off season and a crazy regular season with all this stuff going on. You can already see him starting to crack from a mental aspect. To me, you know, the way he chirps on about things sometimes, it feels like, he's so. I'm not hearing that. That's going to ultimately be something that could. The war of attrition is real. Like, you could grab a handful of teams every year,
right,
and they will attest to that. I mean, so we'll see. Right now, though, the story in the NBA is Brooklyn. The story in the NFL, of course, will always be free agency and quarterbacks, so we'll get into that a little bit too. NHL's putting some good games, man. We got some shootout overtimes and some entertaining product there, even with their crazy version of the bubble. So that will be a topic of conversation. So all of it is available to you. The text line is available to you, 313-307-5340. Get in on that anytime you want. Social media as well. Studio57radio.com. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Spreaker, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you want to check us out. Any of your podcast places. Get in on the conversation. We'd love to have you be part of the show. And but the obvious topic in the forefront is Tiger Woods.
Yep. So, yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning,
Yeah.
on his way to the golf course to basically film something or whatever, like a commercial or whatever with Drew Brees and Justin Herbert.
Sure.
And, Tiger Woods got in a serious auto accident, rolled over several times down an embankment. They needed the jaws of life to pull him out. And he had multiple compound fractures in the right leg and ankle.
Yeah, his ankle was kind of crushed up pretty good. They put some
Pins and
the rods and
they got
plates
rods in his
and all
leg because
kinds of
he
shit in
broke tibia and fibula out there. And again, so with that, and again, they said what saved him was wearing a seatbelt and the airbags.
Yep. Well, and this is the thing, too, and this is the scary situation about this. He's only a month off that back surgery.
Right.
And
what kind of damage did that do to his back that we haven't heard about yet?
Right. This is my take on the whole thing. First off, we know the Tiger Woods camp and how he runs. That shit don't leak out quickly.
No.
Even the news when the police and the emergency and all that had their press conference at LA County, they were very wise with their words.
Yes.
Because of how Tiger Woods and his team, how they handle stuff and how things. So, with all that being said, they're telling us enough to just appease the media speculation, and then there's nothing else. So we're all assuming that, he'll be able to recover from this kind of thing, da-da-da-da-da. But once again, that is a topic. His back and that recent surgery is something that no one's really addressing as far as how do you go off the side of that road like that and do the damage that you do there when you're and have a surgery. So this is my comparison. So young Shelburne, I forget her first name, from ESPN.
Uh-huh.
She had the same exact surgery that Tiger just had. She's only 2 weeks out from her surgery, and she can't drive herself.
Right.
He's 4 weeks out from that surgery. And he's driving, and he's doing charity golf stuff, and he fell off a motherfucking, ravine damn near.
Yeah, it was. It was basically down, it was a ravine.
So, I just can't, I don't want to speculate. I mean, that's irresponsible, obviously, but that's what we do here, and it's entertainment value, but it's not. It's a guy's life. So, this is kind of how I look at it. There's going to be things that they're not going to tell you. And if there's anything that's going on with his back and all that stuff, they may not know. They may not be willing to speak on it, and or maybe it's nothing. So there's plenty of options out there with that, but we'll find out in due time.
Right, and I think what I really think is for them to say whatever. Again, if he's got full mobility and feeling or whatever, you know what? their concern is not the back on there because it was the leg on there. I mean, he could have lost the leg. They said if they didn't get him out when they did,
right? Sure.
And get him under the surgery when they did,
sure.
He probably would have lost the leg,
right? Sure.
And
well, and you could talk to Chad Smith. This isn't over.
No. Oh, it's so not over.
And that's what I think people fail to. They're like, oh, well, I wonder if they could figure out, maybe he'd be able to get back to golf again. Like, if he could walk around with his kids again, this is going to be a victory.
Right.
Because you're talking about, just think of, we talked about the Alex Smith story here on the show, of course, because we love those stories. And I think, he obviously his story has been just phenomenal. But I mean, that could be what lies ahead for Tiger. Multiple surgeries and infections and fighting to maintain that limb and all that stuff. When you do that much damage, just because they stretch it all out and put some pins and plates and stitch you all up, does not fucking mean that you're out of the woods. It doesn't mean that you're going to heal and have function and mobility in that motherfucker. It doesn't even guarantee you get to keep that son of a bitch.
No.
And so there's a lot to it than that. And you're right, Moose. I tend to think that there's not a whole lot of back issues because of the way they handled him on the scene and where they took him and how they handled what was going on. I believe that if he had a neck or a spine they would have taken him to a closer facility. They took him to a further facility that was more equipped to deal with the trauma to his leg, and that tells me that was a priority. The other stuff didn't seem to be a thing. But as you know, Moose, if you've ever been in a fender bender or whatever, it's not when it happens. It's like a day or maybe even two after that you really start feeling the effects of what happened in that accident. And that's just a fender bender, Moose. That's just when someone bumps you enough to make your glasses pop off your head.
Yeah, because I got rear-ended last year, and it felt like, again, a couple of days later, man, it felt like, man, I went to the chiropractor, and he beat the shit out of me.
Right, yeah. And this is like times a million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think there's a lot to it. It's too early to say. So for me, it's all about the humanity level. I just want the guy to be able to hang out and walk the course with his son and bring his kid up in golf and have some kind of normalcy in what is going to be the final chapter of his life, especially as a professional. I don't care if he ever plays golf again. Was he going to be a contender? Was he running down Jack? Is any of that stuff even real anymore?
No.
So let's just stop with that nonsense. When I hear that stupid shit, and I see that shit on Twitter and social media, and I hear cats on the local station, bringing up stupid shit, like, come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real for a minute. This has nothing. Dude, the motherfucker's, he's not out of the woods yet. And he went through a catastrophic injury. And, dude, just the humanity of his kids and being able to have some kind of quality of life or whatever, it means that's above and beyond any golfing performance. I mean, get me the fuck out of here. So it's just one of those things, guys. So some of that stuff kind of like irks me when you look and that's social media for you, right? And
for injury purposes, history-wise, on there, anybody in golf on it, close would be the horrific accident. And we're talking the late 40s that Ben Hogan on there.
Yeah, but Ben Hogan have 10 surgeries prior to a catastrophic accident?
He had the back and the leg in that, and he came back and actually won the I believe the PGA Championship.
Tiger had 5 back surgeries alone. He's had 5 surgeries on his knee and hip, I believe.
Yeah, well, again,
and what the fuck, dude? And now he's had multiple surgeries on that leg, and he's gonna have more before it's done. I don't think he's
coming back on this one. There's no way.
Even thinking about that to me is irresponsible. Dude,
he will think about it, but you know what? Again, I'm thinking is he's not, even if he does make a comeback on there, it's 18 months to 2 years at the minimum.
Dude, if his leg has 0 complications, it's going to be a year before he walks without aid.
Oh, yeah.
He's not swinging a golf club.
Right. I mean, again, the closest would be is the Alex Smith on there with his injury.
Right.
He didn't get hit. He didn't roll down a ravine. He just got trucked. Yeah,
Right,
on there.
and that was not the multiple
No,
compounds.
I mean, he had 17 surgeries from that
Right.
on there. He again, how many infections did he get that he almost lost the leg? Almost
Right.
had on there.
So
Again,
that could be the road for Tiger. We don't know yet.
we don't know. We hope it does. We hope it goes very
obviously,
smooth.
obviously.
And he gets everything back in place, and he goes to
absolutely.
rehab. And we honor. Again, I would just like to see him be able to walk the golf course and just play golf recreational.
But yeah, I mean, he's not even going to attempt to rehab for a year.
No.
Because you can't do anything. And I got news for you. If you didn't see the interview with Nance just a few days before, or a couple days before, or the day before, or whatever the fuck it was, then go to YouTube and watch that motherfucker, because that tells you all you need to know about his state of mind and whether he's coming back. I'm telling you. Watch that interview. He didn't even know if he'd be coming back prior to this accident.
No. Because he wasn't sure. He goes out.
He's like, it's all about the doctors. It's all about how I heal. It's all about how I feel right now. That is not a concern. I
Right.
just need to get better.
Right.
And so he was not even concerned about playing golf
This
on
year
that
at all.
level
No.
anyway.
No, he wasn't.
And so if you think after all this, all that, and everything else that is even something, dude, if he happens within a couple of years to feel good enough that he thinks he could actually walk a full-on fucking major, a tour, or anything like that,
yeah.
then maybe he'll do it. But, dude, I doubt it.
No.
I highly doubt it, and I doubt he's even considering it. It's not even on the radar. And it shouldn't be for other folks and idiots on Twitter. Fuck all of you.
Because, you know more than a doctor. Well, again, this is the whole Twitter thing.
Well, yeah.
Everybody on Twitter
I know.
all knows more than a
Yeah,
doctor.
I know.
Facebook, we all know more than a doctor. No, you don't.
You don't. It's so stupid. And I just get so sick of that shit.
I just hope he heals up and he's able to walk.
That's
and
my take, man. I
play golf with his kid on
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Whether his kid chooses to be a pro or whatever. I hope he doesn't force his kid to stick with that.
I don't think he has to. I think Charlie, is it?
Yeah.
I think he really likes it. So
I think he likes it, but I
don't know
hope
if
he
he'll
allows his kid to play other sports too, because that's what this. I'm watching the documentary. He actually says, "I wanted to play other sports," and his father wouldn't let him.
Yeah. Well,
His father was a bit of a bastard.
Well, if you look back at it, he was the drill sergeant that, you know what I'm saying. But this one thing I know about a whole generation of grown-ups that are now raising kids, they do the opposite of what their fucking parents did to them. Like that, my whole generation of kids, that they grew up and had their kids, and then they basically raised them almost the complete opposite of how they were raised, with the exception of a few things, right? Some of the obvious things, but all those things, he knows what it feels like, and so I doubt that
he'll
he's
be
doing
there.
that
He'll
with
be
his kid.
supportive, and he'll
Right.
help him out, whatever. And if the Charlie chooses to play golf solo, he'll support him. If he chooses
Right.
to play golf and he says, "Dad, I want to play baseball too," I think
He'll-
Tiger's going to say,
he'll let him
"Let's
play.
go play baseball." man."
Yeah, sure. Oh, for sure. And any pro athlete will do that with their kid.
Yeah.
Let
Let them choose.
Yeah, they're gonna do that. So because they've been through it. So that's like without question for me. So I would never expect anything different than to him just to, like I said, I just want him to be able to have time with his kids, whatever it is. I want him to have that normal part of his life where he can walk around and all that stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear the horror. I'm not going to read that over the air, Canada Mike, but we are glad that you were here late or whatever. Hang out with us and forget about all the BS. We are talking a little Tiger Woods, but we're trying to keep it up on the positive, and I think he'll recover in the fact that he'll be able to, do those things that we're looking for. But as far as golf goes, we got that ain't.
I ain't worried about it.
That no.
If he's
you're-
able to play and win
Right.
win a major, not a major, any tournament on
Right.
it, then it'd be bonus.
Exactly.
So on there. Also, too, we got on there is everybody's probably seen the video on there, the viral video of Oklahoma football player Spencer Jones.
Oh yes.
Getting his ass handed to him at Loogie's on the corner.
Well, if you're hanging out at a place called Loogie's on the corner, some shit might go down. I'm sorry. No, but this one cracks me up because that is I talk about it all the fucking time, dude. I don't care if I don't care that I'm 5'11", 155 pounds. If I'm trained, I will fucking kill you. Like, you don't understand, and that's what people don't get. It's like, and then like most fighters don't start shit or get into fights because they know anything can happen in a fucking fight. So like, I love it when some big beefy fucking meathead asshole bully fuck wants to talk some shit to a guy my size, and then we just have to bust their ass. And that's what happened there. Technique will destroy size every fucking time. I don't give a fuck how big you fucking are. I don't care what we're talking about. Technique will always win that battle every time. I don't give a shit. It's the same thing with football. You can be as big as whatever, dude. I'm going to use a technique that's going to give me the advantage. Technique will defeat size every time. Unless you're talking about a jump ball, maybe.
Right.
You can't out technique tall. But I mean,
jump.
Yeah, right. But I mean, as far as leverage and dealing with combat sports and wrestling and fighting and boxing and football and even in hockey and other sports, bigger isn't better. Bigger isn't always better. Shit, linemen have shrunk over the years in football because they need to be able to move.
Yes.
Because technique was smoking them.
Yeah.
And so they needed to get better techniques. So then you needed someone that was a little bit more athletic. So then these guys got a little bit leaner. Boom.
Now you got these monsters that are big and fast.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm fucked. If
all we have to say is Mekhi Becton, 370 pounds, runs a sub 540.
Yeah.
At
Freak.
6'8", freak.
Well, that was like when Sue came out, right? I mean, the impact, they were doing that sports science with all the gadgets and oh my god.
They said when he hit the door, it's like they said the previous highest record was Ray Lewis when he hit it, and then Sue beat that by like 800 foot-pounds per square inch or something like that.
It was so nuts.
Oh my god, he's like going through that door like a semi.
It's crazy.
I'm like, oh my god.
It's just not fair.
Now we know what Colt McCoy felt like. Oh, don't hit me, please, anymore. It hurts.
But I mean,
every part of my body hurts.
But when you're, you got that superior technique to go along with that, then you really got something going.
So who was the guy down there? It was basically he got Jones walked in and started with let's see, who was it? Somebody down there they had but yeah, this he got sucker punched on there, basically wiped the blood from his mouth, and basically gave him a shot, a jab, and basically just picked him up and body slammed his ass and proceeded to beat the living shit out of him.
Yep, a little ground and pound action.
Needless to say, Jones had to go in for surgery for several hours to repair the orbital bone. Okay. He almost lost his eye.
Yep, he put him down. See, this is what happens, right? So he pops.
And there's video of basically the guy's like just standing there going, all right, we're going to, listen, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, he walks away.
So he tries to walk away. He basically tries to let's just cooler heads. And then all of a sudden he gets sucker punched. And he's like, fuck it. Pop, boom.
Yeah. Well, what you do is that first shot, I stun you with the shot. I pick you up. I put you on your back because your head can't recoil away from the shot.
Right.
So now I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah,
because your head is against the concrete.
He picked him up and slammed right into the wall, right at the floor and the wall meat on there, and it was on him and just proceeded.
So if I got you up against the wall, I got you up against the floor. If I got you up against whatever, and your head can't recoil, and I come raining down with forearms and elbows, I'm gonna crush every bone in your face.
Yep.
And dude. And that's why they fucking in UFC and MMA and pro MMA, the universal combat rules for MMA, they ban that 6 to 12 because their perception of what could happen when you're on your back in that position, not realizing that this is so much more force than you can create going this way. And so these guys, when you're back and you got your head on the ground, that's why the refs are so quick to stop it. when a guy, you know, if I come down and I'm on top of a guy full mount and I start raining this thing down, and the minute he's doesn't have a hand up and you get a square shot and that head bounce, they'll stop it.
Yeah.
Because dude, too many of those, and you'll be sipping out of you're gonna be eating out of a straw for the rest of your life because your fucking brain won't function right. You'd be tubed up to a machine or something. I mean, you'd be surprised what could happen with certain traumas, obviously. So, I love it. To me, that's like the greatest thing ever. If you're a bully asshole and the guy you're fucking with trying to walk the fuck away and you won't fucking let him and you're gonna sucker punch him and he picks you up and puts you down like that and he's half your fucking size like that, I fucking love it. I love it. I want more stories like it. Yep. I'll put them everywhere.
That's what you get for being a fucking bully and
dude,
being a dick. Don't be a dick.
It's poetic justice.
Now you don't know. With MMA, all these cats, there's cats out there. You go, oh, he's not that big. Dude's trained.
It's like, motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't look at how big he is, how muscly he is, how many tattoos, how intimidating he is, how many. Look at his fucking ears.
They're cauliflowered.
Don't even think about it.
Just say, I'm gonna buy you a drink.
Yeah. Now that ain't no. Now just because they ain't cauliflowered ain't no guarantee. But if they are cauliflowered,
it's guaranteed.
Yeah, it's probably guaranteed you're gonna get your ass whooped unless you're a trained professional
as
well. So I'm just saying those guys have put time in on the mat to get their ears to look like that.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about grinding. So without headgear. So don't fucking think that cat's soft, whether he's, a professional or just trains at a gym somewhere.
But yeah, they said this fight's been viewed more than 8 million times in just 5 days after it was posted. So everybody in their cat's like, hey, did you watch this guy get his ass kicked? Dude like 75 pounds lighter than him.
One cat shares it, and you know how that goes.
Then they can't charge him because it's obvious because it's all video.
Right.
Dude. I mean, the only thing they can get him, I'm like, well, you're a trained fighter. You should have known better. No, dude should have known better than to start shit with me and sucker punch me.
Right. I told him to back off. I told him to leave me
alone.
Hey,
we're cool. Let's just chill out. I'm raising my hands like, man, we don't need to go there. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go there. Boom! Fuck that. We need to go there now.
Right.
Boom.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what it is, too? It's like there's only so many things that you go, right? Like, someone fucks with your money, it's a reason to go. Like, someone talks about your family, it's a reason to go. Someone messes with your job, it's a reason to go. Someone spits on you, it's a reason to go. Like, there's certain things that are a reason to go. That guy obviously knew the difference because he tried to diffuse it and tried to walk away and tried to do the right thing, and then it was time to go.
Right. Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Right.
But
until it's started time not to be nice.
Yeah.
I know that. No, I'll tell you not to be nice.
Yes.
But again, Walker Brown knew when it was time not to be nice anymore and proceeded to beat the shit out of Spencer Jones.
The
moment he got sucker punched. I mean, I've had a buddy of mine get sucker punched, and all of a sudden it's like the alcohol was involved, and he got sucker punched, and all of a sudden the little switch went on, and I thought, oh. He's the robot that went bad, evil, kill.
Yeah, right.
And then, but I mean, if dude, he was like 6'5", and at that time like about 2 1/4, and he gets sucker punched by some cat that's like 5'9", $160.
Ugh.
Time to basically say you need to leave before he kills you.
Yes. See, the mentality of the sucker punch tells me all I need to know about the individual, right? Because like, if I'm like truly a badass, I want you to see me hit your fucking ass. Right. I want you to know who fucked you up.
Right.
Like, only bitches do that shit. Like you're a pussy. If you're doing that shit, it's because you're afraid and you know you can't handle it, and you've got to do something when someone.
No, there's a time on there. Again, so, my father always said is don't throw the first punch.
No, yeah,
throw the last one.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you to start a fight. I'm telling you to finish it.
Yep. So, yeah, you just got to put an end to it. And so, however that has to be. So, and usually you can diffuse the situations and walk away, which is what he tried to do. So, it's karma. I love it. So I love it even in its instant form. It's great.
So, Walker Brown, you're my hero.
Yeah, right. You get the champ of the day for sure.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Yes.
Champ of the week.
Yeah. Man. So, but
so we got also, as we said, NBA action going on there as well.
Luka Doncic, if you don't know, now you fucking know. Must appointment viewing, worth the price of admission alone. I mean, we talked about other stuff, and I know Brooklyn. We talked earlier. Brooklyn is going to be the top. Is really the talk of the NBA at the moment. But Luka. I mean, he's like fucking Larry Bird on steroids right now. I mean,
we've been saying that for under, dude. You're gonna watch.
I mean, overtime, in the grill, deep, double team, fade away, in your face. I mean, it doesn't matter. That guy's something else. Appointment viewing right there.
Yes. It's gonna be on there. You see on there. Yeah, but like we got Luka on there is 5th in the league in scoring, 4th in the league in rebounds. We got Harden's 1st in the league in assist, and I think he's like 6th in scoring. I mean, there's obviously they've got to be talking about Harden for 15th in the league in scoring. He's averaging 25 points and over 11 assists a game.
It's crazy. But once again, I just got to eat my goddamn words because we never thought
that.
I just didn't.
Like, who's gonna distribute the ball, man? Harden ain't gonna do it. I mean, oops. I mean, he's leading by 1.5 assists over Russell Westbrook, number 2 in assists with 9.7. Then we got Trae Young at 9.6, Luka Doncic at 9.2, and then Chris Paul at 8.5. And again, you got like the old geezers with Harden and Westbrook and Paul up there with assists, and then we got Trae Young on there and Luka Doncic.
No, it's there is some good NBA product, and Canada, Mike. I know you're not happy with your Raptors. But they got a little mini streak going on here, and Van Fleet's playing well, but they're not the Raptors that.
No, they look who they lost. I mean, lost Kawhi, they lost Gasol. I mean, they're not the same team.
Yeah,
but again, they're a team too. If they get hot on there, you're definitely don't. If they make somehow make a run there and get to the playoffs, you don't want to play them again.
No, you don't. I really think the biggest kind of disappointment or underachiever in the East right now is Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, I just figured that they would be in the top 4 or 5 in the East, and they just
kind of blaming
they're just
himself
struggling
on it.
to get.
But also too is Tatum. I mean, Tatum says his plays. I'm not the same yet. I'm not recovered yet from COVID. He says I can't play like I could. He doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the stamina. He's still feeling the effects of COVID still. When he tested when he came down with it on it. But yeah, Boston is definitely one where I thought, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to take Blake Griffin off our hands.
Right.
We'll take one of your 3,000 first-round picks that you got, you fat little leprechaun.
Well, but that's how you build a team, right? So at some point in time, they'll get it right.
Yeah, but their problem is the only two draft picks he hit on was Brown and Tatum. I mean, he had on there, oh, geez, really on it. So we'll look at that while he's on there. Tatum, I mean, was the best player on there with it. Also, too, is we got rookies on there. We got Ball.
Yeah.
LaMelo. I mean, he's up there. Yeah. He's probably for rookie year. Also is what's his name? Halliburton from in Sacramento. Which again, I don't want to understand why Sacramento took another point guard when you just took DeAndre Fox, but on there. But
Sacramento always bumfuzzles me with the stuff that they do. Yeah, they just always seem to. It's like, what are you guys doing? I don't even understand like the methodology or like none of it makes any sense. But whatever.
Jeremy Grant did not make the All-Star team.
There's a few.
They said he may get selected by the coaches as a reserve on there. So
there's a few snubs, I think, this year. A couple of them. But, well, dude, it's an all-star game. It's not.
Who cares?
It's
I wouldn't want to go anyways. I mean, dude, how many cats
Yeah.
are going to back out and say, I ain't playing?
Yeah, I mean, if I could opt out, I would opt out of this one just because no matter what you talk about as far as the protocol, the COVID protocol and all that stuff, I just don't think it's a good idea to essentially put all the teams together in one room. Let's be realistic here. One team doesn't have, somebody doesn't have a representative. Indiana, right? Pacers?
Pistons.
I don't think the Pacers do either.
Pistons don't either.
Yeah, so there's a couple of teams that wouldn't be invited to this party, but it's basically, you're putting all the teams together because you have pretty much a rep from every team or most of them. So you put 99% of the league all in the room at the same time is what you're doing. Now I know physically you're not doing that, but it doesn't matter because they're all going to go back to their teams. And if there was somebody at the All-Star game, then every single team has to go into protocol except for the two teams that don't have anybody to be in the motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So Pistons, damn great. We win. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, and we still wouldn't win.
We still wouldn't win.
Yeah.
And again, they got Dwayne Casey. Vegas has got him slated as the most likely to be fired. Next coach to be fired because Saunders got fired in Minnesota because they're Minnesota.
Yeah, gosh, horrible start. And
aren't they a terrible start?
And no, they are.
It's like you keep looking. All right, this is gonna be the year.
Yeah,
You go,
they'll make some good moves, right? They'll get some draft equity, and they'll get some players, and they'll do some things, and then they don't really do anything with it. They always seem to notoriously underachieve.
Right. The only time they didn't underachieve is when they had Kevin Garnett. Why? Because he was Kevin fucking Garnett.
Well, and you know what,
He got him to again.
They underachieved because if any of those guys did anything around him.
Yeah, but then when the couple times they got to the conference championship and lost, they ended up losing to Kobe and Shaq. So,
right.
Well, yeah.
But the 2004 Pistons beat Kobe and Shaq.
We saw that coming, though.
We saw it coming.
Because we saw that team was ready to implode on itself and everything with it.
Right. And we knew what we had here in the Detroit team, and it was a matchup.
Yeah.
I
like the matchups on there. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
We're better defensively than you guys are. I don't care how good Gary Payton is defensive. Dude, Gary Payton was 170 years old at that time.
Right. Yeah.
Chauncey was better than him. Chauncey could take him to school.
All the analytics were there for that one. Yeah.
It was totally.
But
we saw it.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, we talked about it here.
All right.
So
you know what? This is going to be one on there. Watch with it on there. So yeah. As we said, is Blake Griffin will probably get released, and he'll probably sign with
he'll sign with somebody.
Miami, maybe.
Yeah, there's
that actually makes a good set on there because Miami can make a little run and get to the playoffs wise with him. Maybe Boston, because they're going to have to do something there.
Right.
Because they're
they're full. Yeah, no, but it's just, and in the East you can, because if you're a game or two above 500, you're probably sixth. So
yeah, is he going to say? I mean, the Rockets are going to go younger, so they're getting rid of Boogie, and they're terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Minnesota would love to get trade guys on there, but I mean,
I don't know who's going to get on the Boogie Cousins bandwagon. To be honest,
I think he's going to go to the Lakers.
I mean,
they need help there with AD. He's not going to sign for him. He was only making like $2 million a year.
Yeah, but Boogie he's not a quality player.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand. We kind of proven that he's more of a weight taking up roster space than anything. I don't know. I don't want to cap on Boogie, but that's an underwhelming player right there right now.
Yeah,
for me, but whatever. So
Utah Jazz has the best record in the NBA.
Yes. We told you they'd be good, but we didn't think that'd be good. And we're the only ones that even gave them any fucking...
And we're the only ones talking about Utah.
Yeah. Well, it's the market, right? That's the big part of it. And there's no drama and story and all this stuff. And they don't have this, bright, shiny gemstone or whatever to talk about over there. They just go out there and win.
Yes. They're not loaded up with all-stars. You look out and you go, okay, they're just solid.
Yep.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell, and you got Gobert, and you've got Conley. I mean, it's just like
But it cracks me up because they're doing it in the fucking Western Conference.
right.
It's-
They're not. It's not like you're doing it in the East.
Right.
They're in the Western Conference.
All right. And
But they play good. They play actually a little bit of defense wise.
sure.
Gobert's leading the league in rebounds, and also he's your defensive player of the year. I mean, Donovan again, as we say, there's Donovan Mitchell, and we basically passed on him to get like I don't know, another stiff, that basically
Right.
does nothing.
Right.
We passed on him. We pushed on Booker, who got Jesus. We could have signed him, got him, but no, we gotta go with another fucking. I think it was the same draft. We took like that, But no, we're gonna give, we're gonna draft Andre Drummond and try to make him the cornerstone. And then we got rid of him, which was like, what do you get rid of him? I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same thing Cleveland's going through right now.
Cleveland's like going, why do we have him here?
Yeah. Yep.
It's terrible.
That was a failed experiment.
Great. He would have been a great player in 1970.
Well, that's the thing. His style doesn't even tend to today's, doesn't even lend to like today's style.
But then again, in
basketball.
1970, he would have got his ass handed by Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So.
Well, and he's not tough enough to play in
No,
those.
he's
that
totally
area.
not tough.
He's a
Bill
soft.
Russell would've- yeah.
He's so soft. So Andre, it's funny. His game, he doesn't have the skill set to play the game now. He's just tall, and then the game back in the day, he had the skill set for, but he's too soft to play it.
Right.
So it's like fuck out of here.
And
And he's a shitty human being.
that's what I was just going there. Is how terrible a human being
He is just a fucking cocky, arrogant, just
feels the world owes him everything.
oh god, he's a sexist, he's just a dick, man. Guy just sucks. So like, I whatever. I hope he's out of the league soon. For all I give a shit. I mean, I don't want to take a guy's livelihood away, but he's made enough money. He'd be all right.
Yeah, he's basically milking
Fucking
$30 million
ass clown.
this year from Cleveland.
Fucking clown.
How many, like $100 million did he suck out of us?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just a fucking disaster here in Detroit. I don't care. All these cats, I know, okay, Pistons fans, I know all you guys in the Facebook groups are melting down right now. But stop. Stop. He was underwhelming at best. Could he play well against shitty fucking teams when they couldn't match up down low? Sure. Okay. Every once in a while. Mainly at home. But okay. Maybe I'll give you that. But dude, he's a turd of a human being on top of being, at very best, a mediocre player. At very best. Right. But he wants big money and all the respect. But you don't want to... Whatever, dude. Respect's earned, motherfucker. You ain't earned a damn thing.
Yes, I totally.
You know what I
agree
mean?
with
When it came to him and his attitude. So
they showed a video on there of his game of like, oh yeah, remember that when this happened, like 25 years ago,
right.
Like in 1990, when the Pistons had Dumars was still playing, Allen Houston and Grant Hill playing together on it. It was like Houston was just going off from 3-point land. They couldn't stop Grant Hill, and then Joe D had 14 dimes. It's like, I'm like, damn, I really wish we would have kept Allen Houston here with Grant Hill.
Oh, sure, yeah. You just couldn't do it all. And then Stackhouse came along. Like, none of that stuff would ever happen that way. They were just not in a fiscally good place to do it. And they weren't going to overpay for Allen Houston, and New York gladly did.
Yes,
and that's why he left.
Oh, of course, I don't blame him.
He wants that. He wants that money.
They offered him more money than the Pistons could offer him. So,
right.
On that, so we got that. But yeah, the Piston-wise, Jeremy Grant not being selected as reserve, but I think he's going to get picked up as a coach's reserve choice on there. And again, the Pistons are terrible.
Yes.
They're not good, but at least you know what. At least they're better, more entertaining to watch than they were the last 5 years.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
we're 9-22, but damn, at least they're entertaining a little bit.
Yeah, you have those bright moments where they are that you get that entertainment value there or whatever. But yeah, you're gonna have issues until this team's sold. If you're looking for wins, if you're looking for relevance, if you're looking for something like that in your team. Then you're sadly mistaken. You, my friend, are in Lions purgatory right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're in that place where you're just not, until ownership gets out of its own way and gets people in here. And it's obvious, right? You know, before the team was sold, the prior ownership, you know, won. They won. And so, and new ownership comes in and they're a shitstorm. So don't tell me it's the market and that free agents don't want to come here and that Detroit isn't a destination. And I'm sick of hearing all that shit. It's ownership, period.
Right.
And so until ownership changes, you're going to end up with these same old shit. Same thing with Lions fans. It's a nice shiny quarter every fucking draft. It's a nice shiny trade every fucking time, you know, they make one, and you're all fucking in on the Kool-Aid, dude, but the Kool-Aid's got no sugar, motherfucker. None. You're drinking some nasty, tart shit water. Go ahead and drink it. It's garbage.
Tang.
It's not even Tang. It's not even Tang. Stop making... You just insulted Tang.
It's Welch's flavored facts on there. It's not even a Kool-Aid. It's like, you can get the Kool-Aid for a dime or you can get the Welch's for a nickel.
Yes, and it doesn't even have sugar. So it just makes you want
sugar added to the
you want to throw up.
Powdered drinks on there. It was still like bland. It's like, great, it's got the color and it's got the sugar, but it's got no flavor. So we got that on there. So... we'll see what happens on there with the with it, but yeah, right now we'll see. As I said, they've got some nice players on there that I would like to see them develop a little bit better for the Piston wise on there. With it, I mean, we've kind of got lightning in a bottle a little bit with Jeremy Grant. We got him signed to $19 million, but still the way he's been playing on there with it, and then Sadiq Bey again. We said it. That was Scrappy Downs. Like, dude, he's going to shoot threes.
Yes.
We can see what happens there.
But, you know, that, like I said, those are those bright spots. You know,
Yeah.
Every once in a while they get a little something going. You know what's going to ultimately happen is they're not going to do anything with him. And,
Jaleel
he'll
Okafor is
go
only
somewhere else.
25. It doesn't seem like he's been in the league like 20 years.
It does feel
already.
like he's been there quite a long time.
Wayne Ellington is 33 years old. I'm like,
It's like 133 years old.
I'm thinking, remember we drafted him? I'm thinking, shit, am I old or what? I'm not thinking, well, it can't be that long ago. Shit, it was like that long ago. Fuck.
That's so nuts. So nuts.
Ah.
But anyway, so yeah.
They can get rid of the damn Blake contract, and
Well, you know, then they can make some other bad decisions with that money.
Yes.
I mean, that's fine.
Well, they will.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole point. Like, it's so hard, and that's what it sucks about being like a Detroit centric podcast. Is we try to, you know, obviously we don't really do that as much, but we do have an inside track here because, you know, of our time here. But it's like, it's hard to be a Detroit fan, and it's hard to do this Detroit Talk radio because who is there to fucking talk about? What team is not in utter shit purgatory right now?
Well, again, if you're talking about pro teams, there isn't a pro team in
Right.
Detroit on there. That's
So like, alls we have, and we're going to get into it a little bit in the second hour, Moose, alls we got is Michigan basketball.
yeah, Michigan basketball and
Michigan basketball, motherfucker. Who else?
Well, State's starting to play a little better.
Well,
on there.
we'll talk a little bit about that,
We'll
like I
see on
said,
there.
in the next
They had
hour.
a couple nice wins on there. But yeah, Michigan basketball is it. And, well, of course, nobody talks about college hockey, but yeah.
I mean, so it's like you just got absolutely... And how many people... Come on now. It's going to be crickets. Text lines open. How many Michigan basketball fans are out there? How many people are getting pumped up that Michigan beat Ohio State?
5.
Yeah, exactly. It's crickets, dude. Ain't nobody going to hit us
That was
up.
a great game.
It was, yeah.
You know what? They won on there, but that was one of the best college basketball games I've seen all year.
Yeah.
And I've watched a couple on it because we've been locked down.
Right.
All right, cool, I'm going to watch it. You know, and I was like, all right, they're on it too. I'm going to watch this damn game. That was a really good game to watch.
Yeah,
It
there's...
was high. It was basically a high-level basketball game on there.
Sure.
And Michigan under, but, you know, with it. Then we'll get into that second hour, but, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just...
For all the good clowns on there, it basically says, and I'm talking to all you Sparties out there that were laughing at the hiring at Juwan Howard. I thought,
Right. Yep.
and I said it. Let's see what he does. I kind of like the hire. I thought it was a good hire at the time.
Right.
Dude, Pat Riley gave his thumbs up on there. That I'm going to take his word on there because these guys forgot
Sure.
more about basketball than
Sure.
probably everybody, us, and all the listeners.
As long as that's legit, right? Like, how many times does the guys like that just go, yeah, thumbs up, because that was his guy or whatever?
Riley's not one of those to give high praise to anybody.
Well, that's my whole take. If it's legit and he's saying it like that, then yeah, I'm buying in because
I'm kind
he
of buying
does.
we see what the results are getting out of these
Right.
kids.
Well, so far so good. Absolutely, yeah.
And he has, and this is a year early, 2 years early.
Yes, but we've seen this before, so we got to make sure he follows it up next year, right?
We'll see what happens because he's got the kids coming in
Right.
next year. He's got the best class coming in college basketball. We'll see what he can do with kids that are basically 5 stars. The kids that are going to be one and done. What can he do with these kids? Because the guys he's got now are not one and doneers.
Right.
He's built kids better on there with it. You go, holy crap. He's gotten, and we'll talk about that in the second hour. We'll get into that. I'll get all geeky on us and everything.
Yeah, right. So. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to get into that. We got, of course, the quarterback carousel will begin. Free agency will begin before you know it will be an NFL draft town. But we're going to, it's all year round NFL. We'll touch a little bit of NHL, dude. There was some shootout overtime victories and some pretty good games. Over the last couple of days. So hockey looks like it's ramping up here.
And we had a really picturesque outdoor game.
Oh, geez. And I would be remiss if we did not get that into. So, absolutely. So
we'll take a quick break here, get us a fresh beverage, use the facilities there, and we'll come back on the flip side. We are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. Listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air, and now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old English D for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercings. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate Tire. With winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's the Lodge Service Drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road in the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food, and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental for bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you're loving life, you need to be in the club.
Are taking over this broadcast for the Ultimate Underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the Ultimate Underground live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say, infamous venues in the D, and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer like nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when and where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day, for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now, there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of some of the hottest artists in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, AKG, Sennheiser, Yamaha, Korg, Mackie, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, Fruity Loops, and many, many more to make your music pop. Experienced and friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like you're home away from home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com. Or call 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390. Or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby. We get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
What y'all doing with your doggy coin? Nothing. Losing your ass? Not yet, but y'all will. It's okay. But we're not here to lose. We're here to win. We're here to win big. And, well, we probably won't. But that's all right. We're going to have some fun anyway. In the second hour of DSR2, I am Scrappy. Here's your host, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we are back here for the second hour of DSR2 on this glorious Wednesday here in the D. Yes, 50 plus degrees in late February. I'll take it because a week ago it was like minus 70.
It sure felt like that. And when you're in Michigan, you get all 4 seasons in a day. And this year has been no different. Although we expected a much harsher winter than we got.
We got spoiled by December, January, and in February came and said, "Here, hold my beer."
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't get hammered.
No.
And, we had some cold days, but it wasn't. Dude, last year in January, it was 15 below, like.
That was 2 years ago.
And that was just the wind. I mean, without the wind, that was just the air temperature. And it's like, nah, dude, like, this ain't shit. Like, it was not a big deal this year.
Unless you're in Austin, Texas, or anywhere in Texas, then you're not used to it.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, consider where you're at, dude. Like, look at the dumbass decisions that they made that shit worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you took a bad situation.
And you made a hell of a lot worse.
It just made it 10 times fucking worse.
But the decision they made, you knew it was going to happen.
Dude, yeah. I mean, anybody that's...
inevitable.
Yeah, well, I've got a cerebellum, motherfucker. Like, the front of my brain, that lobe is fires.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't just think football and steak all day.
Right. We get.
I mean, as much as I love football and steak, I mean, that's not my whole life.
Right. We get actually brain function and synapse.
Yeah.
The synapses and that. So.
But I mean, yeah, anybody. It's like, come on, man. I mean, if you're not, but when you're in it's easy to dupe people, and they got duped, and it bit them in the ass. I don't know what to say. I feel bad. Because, it's a shitty situation to be in. I would never want to be in there.
And this is a topic for another type of show on there, which we could get all into. But
sure.
We're going to not alienate all our people.
I know. I'm being silly. You guys, I hope you guys get our sense of humor at this point.
Yes.
We goof on that stuff, but I do feel bad for everybody down there. It definitely sucks.
It does suck.
But, I mean, it's not like a natural disaster, guys. It's not Hurricane Katrina. It's fucking snow. And you're compounded by bad decisions that you guys made.
Yes.
So.
That your leaders made.
Yes. Right. Well.
And
that's a fundamental flaw, too. And that's a whole other conversation. We need to stop just calling them leaders, because they're not.
Right.
They're paid servants. No, dude. Like, hello? Hello? Like, I don't want to get into politics here, but, like, hello?
Well, they're not.
They're fucking paid servants.
Yes, to the lobbyists, because they're not.
Well,
serving
right,
us.
because we're not doing our job.
Right.
And holding them accountable.
Well, that's the kicker.
So we all got to look in the mirror on that. So that's a whole nother. Like I said, that's a whole nother show. I don't want to get into politics. Nobody wants to hear that crap here. But yeah, no, that's us. We need to hold them accountable. So yes, they're paid servants. We have to stop calling them leaders. Yes. They don't lead shit. They lead their fucking self to the bank.
That's damn right. So
let's stop with that. A politician and leader, that's like an oxymoron.
Yeah. All right, so we got in now. Let's get into a little bit of football action. Free agency is just around the corner there.
We got some leaders in football.
Yes, we do. And looks like Packers running back Aaron Jones and the Dolphins starting to show a little mutual interest there.
Ooh.
Because Green Bay ain't going to sign any they're not going to re-sign free agents because why? They're too fucking cheap.
They
never re-sign
They don't spend money on
anybody.
anything.
They draft and that's it.
Yeah.
You got for your rookie deal and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even how the whole Brett Favre thing came unglued. I mean, as much as he's a mess and he did that too. I mean, it's because there was no intention on them building around him or paying him like money. There was nothing there.
Yeah, because he kept threatening him every year. I might retire. Well, good, retire. We were already drafting your parents.
Right, but I mean, but they did the same thing with him even prior to that. That's why it came unraveled. They never put anything around him. All they did was draft his replacement.
Right.
That's bullshit. You've got a guy that wins you a Super Bowl. You build around him. You give him the weapons. You don't draft his replacement. How'd that work for you in fucking New England? Oh, yeah, that's right. The GOAT left and won a fucking Super Bowl.
They didn't draft a replacement.
Well, no, they bullshit. Garoppolo was the fucking replacement.
Well, it was supposed to be the era.
Right, and they were never the same after that.
No.
That Brady-Belichick relationship was done at that point. Don't give me that shit. He was waiting for his contract, and he ran when it came. And he knew what he was doing because he took half the team with him. So don't stop, dude. He's a GOAT for he's the GOAT for a reason, motherfucker. It ain't just football.
No.
He's a fucking genius.
We all know who is the real genius in that.
Yeah, dude. Like, stop it. Like, don't stop letting people tell you didn't see what you saw. Stop letting people, manipulate your fucking brain. You saw it. It happened. It's there. It's real. Live it, love it, own it. He's the fucking GOAT, whether you like it or not. Every sport's got one. And there's an argument for all of them, but not here. Not with this guy. And it's been proven over and over again. Every chance he gets, every challenge you put in front of that dude to say, oh, he'd have to do this to be the GOAT. Then he does it. And then you go, well, you move the goalpost. You say, well, he needs to do this to be the GOAT. Then he fucking does it.
Yep.
So stop it.
So, yeah, they got Aaron Jones. Well, actually, I think Aaron Jones going to the Dolphins is a perfect fit. They need a number one running back. And with the draft picks that they're going to do this year, dude, that only helps them out. They get basically, they'll draft a running back. Well, they'll draft probably an alignment and a receiver in the first round probably this year. Depends on whether they take the lineman first or the receiver first and go from there wise. But yeah, I think that again, Aaron Jones going to the Dolphins is beautiful.
Yeah, no,
because they're basically they're kind of weaning away from the trading away Tua. They're going to just stick with Tua this year.
And what did we say?
They're going to stick with Tua.
I mean, because it doesn't make any sense to do anything else.
Makes no sense to do it right now.
Yeah.
Not when you got the draft capital there and you can
basically to build around him. Yeah, because if you get rid of the draft capital, whoever you bring in, you can now not build around. So it doesn't make any sense. So we knew that was coming. I love this one. Texans driving on ice is definitely interesting to watch on television. So there we go.
And the Houston Texans keep saying, "Oh, working on he's gonna play with us." No, he's not. No. Deshaun's not playing.
Dude, you guys, so shit the bed on that.
No matter what you do or say anymore,
it's done.
He's done. He's not coming. No matter
I
what,
agree.
He's done.
I agree.
He's not,
I feel the same way.
You burnt that bridge, man. And Deshaun Watson basically says, "Fuck it." What the remains there is, I'm dropping some freaking anabombs on him.
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I think he's gonna, he's gonna light off all the pipe bombs on his way out. I mean,
they've got to get a deal going here soon, or otherwise they may not have any market for him to go to.
Which is an issue.
Or there'll be people want him, but they're not going to pay what Houston wants for him.
Right. Well, they're not going to get what they want for him anyway because Houston they're fucking stupid. But and then the market, it leveled out a little bit. These guys, these quarterbacks are not getting. You're not getting huge packages. You're not.
Yeah, Carson Wentz getting a third rounder and possibly a first rounder.
Right.
If he plays 70% of the snaps,
which he will,
and they get to the playoffs, which he will, so it'll turn into a first round. Because again, hopefully, that team is pretty good under. They needed to actually probably.
Oh, dude, the Carson Wentz experiment, dude. If he is anything less than an all-pro, dude, he's got everything he motherfucking needs there. There ain't no excuse. You got your coach, you got your scheme, you got the best offensive line in football.
You got a good
running game. You got a solid defense. You got weapons on offense. Dude, no. If you are not back to MVP Wentz, you're done. Right. You've proven everything I need to tell. You will not get a better situation in this league. How does that, by the way, how does that whiny head case son of a bitch cocksucking pussy get the job? The job. There is no other situation that would be better for that fuck. That useless fuck. I mean, seriously, he ran a fucking coach out of town that won him a fucking Super Bowl, cried that the team didn't do enough for him when they did nothing but bend over backwards and give him fellatio, and then and then in the end he goes, oh, you know what? I know you did all that, but fuck you, I'm gone anyway.
You know what?
And then I don't want to go here and I don't want to go there. Who the fuck are you, dude? Dude, you shit the bed at every turn. You had one good season at best, and it wasn't even the whole season. Shut up.
And the only reason is he went to, and again, the only reason they could get Indiana to bite, the Colts to bite, is because Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator when he had that good season.
And they didn't even really want him that bad. Chicago offered a better deal.
Well,
they just weren't going to fucking
didn't
go.
offer anything. They didn't make an offer, according to what Shefty said. The Bears did not make an offer. That was all rumor and innuendo. Again, for what the Colts gave, if he shits the bed, you're on the hook for a third rounder and it's on there, and that's pretty much it. All right, good. I mean,
it's only if he doesn't play.
Right.
It's not if he shits the bed.
Well, if he shits
he
the
can
bed,
come out and shit the bed, and they don't have anybody else to fucking play, then he fucking plays, and they fucking, it is what it is.
Their one thing is they're probably going to lose T.Y. Hilton. Because again, on there, so he's going to probably leave via free agent. So they got Michael Pittman, who's actually, that's a nice pick on him. But you know what? They're probably going to end up doing? Again, they're one of the teams I would trade Galladay to. You franchise Galladay and you trade him. I mean, whatever you get, you get. You get a second or third rounder, I'm happy. I'm done with it.
All right. The problem is when you franchise a guy like Galladay, depending on the ticket, you're going to now shorten the window of teams you're going to be able to get something from.
There's only 4 teams on there that'll probably put a move on Galladay.
Right, but that could be 2 teams after you franchise tag him because it's too much fucking money.
If they franchise him, because it's only one, and then they'll try to work out a long-term deal with the next guy, or you try to do a sign and trade or something like that.
Well, sure.
But you got the Colts who basically are right on that cusp. They need a viable number one, a true number one on there. Baltimore needs a number one receiver because all they got is small, fast guys on there. They need somebody that actually can basically go for contested balls. I think that's a good move on that. And Dolphins, maybe. And the Jets. Because the Jets have no weapons.
Right.
Whether it's Darnold or it's Fields or Zach Wilson. They're going to get probably a third and a fifth for Darnold. And again, if I'm Frisco and they want a third and a fifth for Sam Darnold, I'm jumping at it.
Right.
Because I think Darnold in the right, with a basically good coaching staff, could be a really good. I think he could be still a really good player.
My take on it is
they did not help him at all because look at who was his coach.
They definitely didn't help him out at all, but he is yet to show any kind of like super acumen. So we'll see how that goes. I think you're right. I think he's got a future. I don't think he's going to be a great player.
I think he could be a good player.
But I think he can be serviceable. I don't think he's broken or gone. I think Wentz is
broken.
Bulk. I
think Darnold just...
Dude, that guy is the furthest thing from a leader that ever stepped foot in a fucking football arena.
That's why you say the only team really bidding on him was the Colts. Nobody else was like, no.
It's just...
Frisco's like, great, we'll give you a third and a fourth.
It's just...
We're not giving you twos, we're not giving you ones. That's not happening.
All right. Well, no, yeah, it's to me it was a waste. To me, I don't know, but we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, the Cowboys will do something stupid. And they'll probably make the trade and get Deshaun Watson, and then they're basically going to piss off Dak and watch Dak will go with Houston.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't even make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, but it's Jerry Jones and he's nuts.
Yeah, but I don't think it makes sense from a Texan standpoint. Why the fuck am I moving him, letting him go to Dallas?
Yeah.
Dude, no, you're not going to Dallas. Like, if I already got to fucking let you go and I already got to go through all this shit, you're not going to fucking Dallas. You're not going to the division, and you're not going to fucking Dallas. There's no fucking way you can let him go to the other team in the state.
Who would be the only... Again, who's probably...
So...
Boy, we all know who probably will jump on it and probably end up getting them. It's freaking Patriots.
The problem is they don't have the cap space. They are in purgatory for a decade because of the way they've done their...
The only team worse than them is the Saints.
But I think
I think the Saints are going to just say, you know what, we'll re-sign Winston and let him take over and go from there. Because I think they're going to still be able to re-sign him pretty cheap.
I tend to
At least for another year. and
I
see
tend
what-
to agree for a stopgap, but that's going to be a big mistake. And then they're really, once Breezy's off the books, and then I think they got like a year or so after that where they got to kind of make a decision, and then things will start to straighten out. They're not in a position where for the next 8 to 10 years they have nothing. And let's be real, that's where the Patriots are. Guess who's coming back? Guess who's going to be the quarterback for them this year?
Garoppolo.
No. For the Patriots?
Yeah.
Yes. Cam will be back. I don't care what happened.
What the hell was basically this fucking kid basically mouthing off the Cam at like a freaking high school camp?
Oh, it was Cam's camp too.
Yeah, Cam's camp, and this kid's mouthing. Dude, get the fuck off the field.
Yeah, I get.
Dude, he's allowing you at the camp here and getting on it, and you're acting like this to him?
Dude.
I know he's been terrible, but dude, he's still...
Dude, he has achieved more at a higher level than you will probably ever get to.
Yeah.
He is
And
what
I
you
thought-
aspire to be.
and
That's
I thought
why
he-
you're
and
here.
I thought he handled the situation very well,
Now,
considering what...
this is my take on
This
it.
kid should have got his ass smacked.
This is my take on it. Cam needs to be better than that.
Right.
So for me, I don't feel Cam handled it very well because it's a fucking kid. And it's really simple. You paid to come to my camp. You can choose to listen and be a part of the camp, or you can leave.
Right.
And that's the end of it. Giving this kid kind of anything, it doesn't make any sense. And then to go and take an opportunity to fucking, stick it to him and all this stuff and be witty and pop one off. Dude, it's not good for your look. We can all do it. My kids think they know everything, and if I want to, every time they open their mouth, I can light them up. But I choose not to because it's not productive. I'm a grown adult. I've been through it all. They can think any dumb shit that they want. I don't care. Like I gave them the lessons. I taught them what I need to teach them. They either take it or they act and use it, or they don't. I don't have that. You have to be above that. You're a grown adult. You're in control of the situation, right? No, not when you're fucking reacting like a child to a child. You're not. They're in control of the situation now. So, Cam, I'm sorry. You got played by a kid. And then when you thought you played the kid, you were playing yourself. Now, my issue is after that kid's expelled from there, I'm going to put the smack down on his motherfucking parents. Your ungrateful little rich fucking spoiled little fuck kid is because of you. That's learned behavior.
Oh, of course it is.
That is learned behavior. That's not something you're born with. You don't wake up and act like that. You're taught to act like that. Who the fuck taught you to act that way? I already know. You know why I know? Because you fucking forked out a shit ton of money to come to a Cam Newton fucking quarterback camp.
Right.
So I already know who caused your fucking attitude problem. So that is where my thing would be. I'd go to the parents and be like, you've got something to deal with your child, and because you didn't and you can't and you haven't, he will not be allowed to be here anymore. And he can't come back. I'm barring him. He's done.
Right.
He'll never be back in this camp ever again. And if somebody asks, I'll tell them why.
Right.
And you just move on. You talk to the parents, you tell them what's up, and you move on. So to me, yeah, I get it. It's quirky. It's funny. The kid got his comeuppance, whatever. But nah, dude. I'm a fucking grown-ass man. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm above that. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm above anybody or I'm better than somebody, but I'm above that. You need to be above that. I don't think Cam was. I think he stooped to a level of a snotty 15-year-old. That you don't win when you do that. You don't. So that's my take on it. But, everybody looks at shit different. They think, oh, snap. No, dude, he's 40 years old capping on a 15-year-old, dude. You don't win when you do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't. You're not. You ain't a man. No, dude. Oh, that's what you think? There's the door. End of it. Now this kid's in the newspaper.
Right.
Now this kid's a headline.
Right.
You got played.
Right.
You played yourself and you got played.
And this kid,
so you didn't win.
Because he went viral.
Right.
Everybody knows
You
who he is.
didn't win. You didn't win. You lost. You should be above this. Cam, of all people, you should know. You should know. You've been in this league this long. You've been messed with and talked about and poked at in the media for how many years? And you got punked by a kid? Come on, man. And ain't nobody going to talk about that. I'm the only one that's got that take. Guarantee it. And that ain't a hot take. That's man shit. Come on, man. Tell me I'm full of shit. Got the text line? Tell me I'm full of shit. Crickets, motherfucker. Because y'all know you can't fucking defend that shit. In the end, when you think about it, would I put it to you real? Yeah, it was funny. Hell yeah, it's funny. Do I think it's funny if I cap on somebody and I say something witty? Yeah, fuck yeah. But when you do it in a professional setting to a 15-year-old, you don't win. You stoop to his level. You lose. He wins. He went viral. We're talking about him. He's more famous than he's ever been. And look what you do. Look what you did to yourself. You lowered yourself, and everybody knows it. Come on, man. You didn't win. Fuck out of here, man.
So also, Des Bryant says he wants to play 2 more years.
Hey, man, dude, I want to shit gold.
Yeah.
I want to shit lumps of gold, and that'd be great. And maybe it'll happen for him, but shit and gold ain't happening for me.
Yeah,
so.
You know he's going to sign with.
Oh, Dallas.
No.
Oh, who?
Tampa.
Oh, yeah, right. They ain't going to Tampa.
He'll sign for next to nothing.
Nah, I don't think so.
I actually don't either. I think Des is done.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they have a place for him there. I think the only time he gets in on there is when you bamboozle somebody, right? So you got to look at a team that would be desperate and right, and not very smart. So, like, what are you going to do?
Because, again, he doesn't have the speed that he once had, and he's a big physical receiver. Guess what? Right. Tampa's already got one.
Right.
And actually, Tampa's already got 2.
Right. You
got Gronk and you got Mike Evans.
I was going to say, with Mike Evans, there's no point on bringing in a washed up. Yeah.
Now, if you're a smaller, fast slot guy, a la Antonio Brown, perfect.
Right. Yeah.
That's why, again, Antonio Brown, plus, he basically said name his next kid Tom.
Yeah, right. You better.
Brady's going to be his godfather.
I mean, Brady brought him back from the depths of
and
he should have been dead.
Basically, how he played, he got him $1 million bonus.
That's crazy.
Whatever you say, Tom, can I get you fresh that drink for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Can
he
I
should
get you some more avocado
Fuck
tequila?
Yeah. Should be doing that for the rest of his goddamn life.
I'll go die for that damn Super Bowl trophy that's at the bottom of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bring it back to you, Tom, all signed up.
It's like, shit.
I'll watch the car, Tom. You need me to watch the kids? Yeah,
So I just don't, so yeah, Cam is going to end up back in New England or in the fucking CFL or some shit because that's it for him. But New England, they can't do anything. They're strapped. They have nothing. They don't have any assets. They don't have any cash. They've got nothing. So it's
So Super Bowl betting investigation leads to 74 Tennessee accounts being permanently closed. 2 of the state's 4 regulated online sportsbooks reportedly saw illegal action and basically caught a hold of it and shut them down.
Yeah, none of that surprises me.
Yeah, that's why, again, legalized betting, they're the ones that bust all these cats.
Yep.
Again, all your point-shaving incidences, who busted them? Vegas busted them.
Yep.
Because when they saw money switching on there, going, that's a lot of money popping in out of a fucking nowhere game on a Monday night.
All right. Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, the trends are there, right? Like, it's kind of like viewing trends or listening trends or whatever. They kind of stay pretty consistent for, if you have a super spike in either direction, there's usually a huge reason for it. There's something happen. So it's the same thing with people. It's the same thing with the stock market. It's all the same shit. It's all the same racket.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all just a different version of the same bullshit. So to me, it's just, yeah, you're going to get more and more of that. And now that the sports book is legal, like all over the place, and you can get, there's apps, and you can, and all. It's just going to be more fraud, and you're going to hear more about these kind of stories of things, cats get cracked, because they're going to be more investigations because of it.
What it is, and you'll have basically, they'll get more forensic accountants handling.
Sure, right, yeah.
And they're going to be, start looking at trends, and then they're going to be basically, you're going to see these stories happen with it. But again, that's what we said. Is Vegas, the legalized guys on there, they're looking out for something that's wrong,
right.
And they're going to basically nail it. They're smarter than we are.
Oh,
think we're cool? Oh, yeah, I got an insight. I'm going to get the point to you. Dude, the moment you think you got it, you lost.
Yep.
Because they're going to figure it out.
That's a fact.
They're going to see it happening before you do. So, front runners in the teams to get J.J. Watt look like emerging now are the Green Bay Packers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Tennessee Titans. Personally, his smartest move is go to the Bills.
Yeah.
Or actually, the Titans, I think, could be a good too. Because, again, both those are contenders, and they got young offensive wise on there, and they're basically... The Bills are really one good defensive player away from basically putting it all together.
Yeah, I agree.
Green Bay, I don't see long-term future on that. Yeah, they could get to the Super Bowl because they're in the NFC, and the NFC's garbage. But the Bills or the Titans would be basically the smarter way to go, personally.
Right.
God, J.J. Watt on the Bills, holy shit.
Yeah, that'd be amazing for them.
Dude, that city would embrace him.
Yeah, no, that's perfect as far as like, looking from the outside in anyway. It looks like that would be a perfect fit for them, for him, with that town and that team, and just the stuff they could get done. It would be like you said, to have a big time defensive player like that with this particular team, just like whew. And yeah, like you said, that town and him, I think it'd be a great mix. I don't know how he feels about the weather per se, but
grew up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, as I say, but I mean,
he grew up and played football he started at Central and then went back to Wisconsin. But
right.
Come on, he's got it. You know what they were in some meetings were trying to talk about, like, well, Chicago cold and Green Bay cold are different colds than, say, Buffalo. I'm like, are you fucking nuts? Do you really understand how fucking cold it gets in Buffalo? And how much snow Buffalo gets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Buffalo does get a lot of snow, but cold and snow are two different things. Like, it's just two different things. Like, Alaska gets a ton of snow, and it's cold, but, like, there are areas that are colder. It's like the Antarctic, It's just, there's different layers to just cold. But, yeah, I mean... Cold is cold. I don't fucking care if you're in Wisconsin. I don't care if you're in Chicago. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're in Ontario. Cold is fucking cold.
Right. Like Buffalo doesn't know. It's not like, I'm going I'm going to play in Tampa. And,
right.
And I'm going to go to Green Bay. I'm like, it's like when they said, bro, Brady hasn't played in the cold. Dude, freaking played New England for like 20 fucking years.
Yeah, right.
Don't you think Foxborough gets any cold?
Yeah,
Come on. He goes to Buffalo once a year or every year anyways, too, on top of it.
Right.
Don't they think they get cold in Buffalo?
Well, and he played his college ball in Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, serious?
So, I mean, I know we grew up in California, but let's be real here.
He's been there for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
20 and a half.
He spent half
his life.
He spent more of his life, and in fact,
cold weather.
90% of his adult life in cold weather. So, like, stop it. That's silly. But like I said, there are different layers to cold for sure. But when you get to a certain cold is just fucking cold. It's just cold.
Green Bay can get cold. But again, Minneapolis, why do you think they play in the dome stadium for the last 40 years?
It's the wind. It's the same with Chicago.
It's also no, I mean, it gets the wind and it gets fucking cold.
Well, right.
Well, I mean, again, when they say is, oh yeah, when we get like, oh yeah, it's 15 below here, it's 30 below there without wind chill. And you know what they do? They wear that like a badge of fucking honor.
Yeah, I've my pops lived in Minnesota for a while, and it's that. Come on, man, it's cold, but it's cold. I lived in Detroit. It's cold. I've been to Chicago. It's cold. Stop. It's not. It's cold, motherfucker. Guess what? I got news for you. 15 below there is the same as it is fucking here. Okay.
Yeah, but when we get 15 below, they're getting 30 below.
Understand that, but there's days when we'll have 15 below and they'll be fucking 5 above.
Right. Well,
So
yeah,
like, come on now. Like I'm geographically speaking, from that standpoint, the difference really truly is you're going to have snowfall difference, which is about precipitation. Then you're going to have wind chill differences, and essentially there's not a whole lot that's going to affect, other than humidity, that's going to affect your hot or cold. And so yes, Wisconsin can have cold temperatures, but guess what? So can North Dakota.
I wouldn't move to North Dakota because it's like the seventh ring of hell.
North Dakota has the single greatest sports station on the planet.
Yeah, but it's like you get like super cold, and then it gets like 150 degrees in the summer.
But that's what I'm
and then
saying.
you get literally their snowfall is like literally like the equivalent is like if you lived in Marquette
Right.
or Houghton, Michigan. I mean, they get like hundreds of inches of snow, and then of course we go,
Sure.
yeah, we
That's-
got that too.
that's the
30
biggest
odd
thing.
Inches of snow.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That if you want to talk about measuring snow here in inches and in Buffalo in feet,
Right.
that's a difference. Well, I'll have that conversation with you. But fucking
Well, Buffalo gets feet on there, and then you get north, like the UP, especially for Long Lakes period, they measure it in tens of feet.
right. So that's a difference in
Or
conversation.
hundreds of inches.
But when you start talking about cold, no, dude, I'm not fucking hearing it, because those same temperatures they get, we get them here. Now, we don't get them on the same fucking days at the same fucking time, but I'm willing to bet when you look at the fucking numbers, if they've got a handful more days at fucking below zero than us, then so be it. But what the fuck does that, what's a handful of days? Next year it'll be different. And in 10 years it'll be different. And in 100 years it'll be different.
The only
Because
thing-
we've got this much of a sample size of what the weather patterns are on this planet.
Again, if we're talking about cold, and again, man, know how cold it gets here? It's still going to be warmer than it is in fucking Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Sure. Sure.
Because again, when you walk outside, you got to worry about a freaking polar bear coming to eat you.
Right.
Yeah,
But you're
that's
talking
all.
about Winnipeg, Manitoba. How many miles? Like, I can drive to Wisconsin, motherfucker. I'm not going to Winnipeg, Manitoba like that. You know what I'm saying? I could be to Wisconsin by the morning,
But I need an
motherfucker.
Arctic cat, basically.
You know what I'm
those
saying?
little
Yeah,
snow
that's
cats
what I'm
out there to
saying.
Get to work in it.
So
all terrain track vehicle.
That's why I always laugh at that shit. See, we're talking about cold, but we live in the same region of the planet. No, you're not. No, shut the fuck up.
Again, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, we're all.
Yeah, we're all caught up in the same kind of thing.
Not
Do
like
we?
we're talking about Oklahoma or Arkansas or something.
Yeah, you're not talking like Florida versus fucking the Antarctic. I mean, let's stop. That's why I always laugh at that shit. Oh, Wisconsin cold. Well, I live in Michigan, motherfucker. It's Michigan cold, and Chicago's right there. It's fucking cold there too. Talk to Buffalo. Talk to everybody at Canada, Mike, motherfucker. Chime in anytime.
Pretty much everybody north of the Mason-Dixon.
You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about South Africa and Antarctica. Fuck. That's a tangible difference. When you're in the same general region, the only real difference between us, Wisconsin, Buffalo, Minnesota, and Chicago is going to be that moisture, that snowfall, and then wind. Chicago's super windy, Minnesota's super windy, but fucking cold is fucking cold, and those temperatures are all in the same fucking vicinity in all those fucking states and in those areas. It's just now I get it. In Texas, they're tripping. I'm not used to that shit.
Yeah, where we are.
But we are. It ain't nothing to us. So, but if it gets to $105 here, we are losing our fucking minds. You know what they're doing? They're fucking cutting the grass.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. We have to have ozone action days. Them motherfuckers are out there running oil rigs. So, come on, let's be real now. You know, it's
And then we go down there and it's like, oh, it's snowing, it's 30 degrees. Oh, that's great. I'm walking around in a t-shirt.
right. Well, it's like all of us making fun of Californians when they get snow. They're like, oh, it's cold. It's like, motherfucker, they live in it's 80 all the time there. And then we forget we do it here, right? Because 68 in the dead of winter, motherfuckers are like, that's freezing ass cold. But 68 in the spring, motherfuckers are in their shorts.
Right.
But 68 in the fall, and they're losing their mind. They got to have a fucking hoodie and turn up the fucking heat. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
So we do it from season to season.
Well, yes.
So, like, I laugh at people that make fun of other cats that live in different climates, at different areas, because they get something that they're not used to. Because we go through all those same emotions in one fucking day because of all the seasons, and we're so fucking dense that we forgot it just happened.
Yep.
Okay? At least in California, they're not used to that shit. Or in Texas, they're not used to that shit. So, as much as I cap and make fun of everybody else, we're just as guilty.
Yep. Well, again, 68.
So-
My house doesn't get above 68.
No, I don't either. Yeah, I'm like that here.
Put on a goddamn hoodie.
Well, no, in the summer, my shit ain't that cold. I can't afford to keep my AC down to 68.
No, I gave it 75.
Thank you. Okay, I want to make sure we're on the same page here.
At
So,
night, I turned it down to 68.
yeah.
But in the wintertime here, I turned it down to 64.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to call them my room to sleep.
Yes, yeah. So I
Even
don't.
at 68, I'm still like, all right, get a fan on that, and I'm still just sleeping with a sheet.
Dude, my place is at 68 because, of course, that's the magic number in this state where you can really save a ton of money on your energy, right? So my place is at 68 too. Dude, my girl wears a hoodie, 3 layers of clothes, 4 fucking blankets, and she's fucking freezing. I'm like, dude, it's 68. When I'm gonna remind her when it's 68 outside and she's in a t-shirt.
And a pair of shorts.
Well, she'll probably be in like some leggings or something and a t-shirt, and she's out on the porch smoking a cigarette, talking about how beautiful it is outside today and how nice and how warm it is. I'm gonna say, you know what? That's how warm it's been in the house all fucking winter. When you complained about how cold it was in the house, but that's how we do it. That's what we do. That's what we do in Michigan.
Yes, it
So I guys, you can kill me all you want in the text. As much as I make fun of you, I can sit here and rip us too. So it's all good. We love everybody just the same. So we got.
So, yeah, we got a little hockey action. Montreal just fired their head coach, Claude Julien, and assistant coach, Kurt Muller, today.
Dude, what was up with Babcock melting down today?
Well, because Babcock's basically, a lot of players have been speaking out and just.
Is that what's going
throwing
on?
him under the bus.
Oh, okay. Because he like it. Dude, I never sit. Okay, so I don't really. I have to admit, I haven't been watching that part of it. I've been watching some games when I can. I haven't been following the drama, which I like to usually follow. And then I saw this thing kind of came in the middle of a press conference and was like, "What am I watching?" Like, I'm like, I mean, like I knew he was a bit of a mess, and I'm kind of glad that he's gone, even though he did get results here. But like, I had no idea. I'm like, what am I fucking listening to? This guy is melting down.
Yeah, he's been basically a bunch of players, players that played underneath him are just basically just throwing. I mean, they just can't. They've been throwing him under the bus. Like they're saying this is all sorts of stuff. Like,
Oh, really?
just a terrible human being. Yeah, he got results, but he pissed off.
Yeah,
That's
it
why,
sounds
again,
like it.
Well, yes, he won a Stanley Cup here, but after they stopped, after 2009, he pretty much basically eliminated anybody of a free agency coming here.
Right.
Because they're like, no, we're not playing. Because he basically was like, okay, we can't play for him anymore.
Yeah, no, it really, it's not.
He bought it. And he went to, and then Toronto hired him because, oh, yeah, look what he did. And he never did anything in Toronto. And now he's got been pretty much all their players like, dude, I can't play for him. So it's pretty much, he's pretty much, I don't think he'll ever get a job in the NHL again.
No, probably not.
He may get coach some college hockey and that, but that's about it. But yeah, there's.
I heard. Well, he's saying I got a Canada Mike says he scored a head coach position at University of Saskatchewan.
Right, college coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, but I mean, like you said, he may be college, but it sounds like he's already got the college gig.
Yeah, he got the college gig on here because they were talking about him possibly coaching like Vermont or something like that, and he got to the University of Saskatchewan, which is definitely a bigger college program than say Vermont is.
Right.
But again, like it would be the equivalent. Again, Saskatchewan would be equivalent of like coaching Michigan or Wisconsin or Minnesota.
Sure.
It's a bigger program in that. But again, like coaching a smaller school out there, he can do that, but he won't get the major programs. He won't get like a Boston U or any of the bigger ones like Colorado, Denver College or something like that. He won't get those big schools because again, too many cats out there that are getting drafted in the NHL going, no, he pretty much burnt the bridges.
Interesting.
From what I heard, is how he treated his players and that they're like done.
Well, I'm just kind of curious of like at what level like that was going on that they feel that they're all speaking out now.
Mike Commodore was speaking out from the beginning.
Yeah.
When he was when they let him go and trade him, he's like he couldn't wait to speak out against.
But what are the allegations? Like what are they even saying?
He's
is my point.
Basically how he treats the players. He treats them like shit.
But that's a vague thing. Like I worked with a bunch of guys. Okay, so I worked at my old job before I moved to where I'm at now. I had 28 guys, and I probably have 22 of them that would tell you I'm a piece of shit, and then the other 8 would tell you that.
Yeah, but the problem is
they would run it through a house.
On there aren't on there. It's not like what Scotty Bowman was because again, the difference is Babcock's only won one Stanley Cup, where Scotty's won like 10.
Well, that's why.
And Scotty he's quirky and he kind of use that, but then again, when he break you down and build you up, but he would also give you that positive reinforcement with it too.
Sure.
Whereas Babcock could just beat you down, and basically is like, dude.
Well, okay. I get it. So he coaches you tougher than you like, but what does that make? How does that make him a bad human being?
It's just how he ran his schemes. It's a long story where you get how he treated not just on the ice but off the ice.
Well, right, and I'm asking what that is, and I have not yet to hear it. That's my point. Like, what are the allegations? What are they saying?
I don't know exactly. I got to look on there. I've read on there, but in the past and again, that's the reason is whereas Detroit basically his free agents wouldn't come here and play for Babcock.
Okay, and that's why the team let him go. I understand that. Right.
And he's done the same thing in Toronto. Toronto was on it. And again, Toronto's the chosen city too. He basically is it was basically they got to get rid of him or they're going to lose Austin Matthews. He's like, I'm out of here or whatever. So they got rid of him. Of course, he didn't get the results that he got here. But
right.
He didn't really have the talent that he had here.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand. But
I think that's what. But it is for a lot of players are coming out speaking on there.
Right. What are they saying? That's my point. What are they saying? What are the specifics of what they're saying?
Basically, really on here says, I will never play for this man. I can't play for him. He treats us all like garbage and so forth with it, not just on the ice but off the ice too, as individual.
Well, my whole thing is off the ice. You don't have to engage with him. So if you choose to engage with him, that's on you. So off the ice, he can't treat you any kind of way. He can't. Yeah. So for me, I want to know what he does. If he doesn't, I can say, hey, I don't want to play for the guy. Well, why? Well, I just don't want to play for him. He treats me like shit. Well, what does he do? Well, he coaches too hard. Okay, but how does that treating you like shit? And why is that? I get it. You don't want to work for him, but they're making it sound like this guy's not beaten folks. He's not, as far as I could tell, he's not been racist or anti-Semitic or gone after people's careers or livelihoods. Like, why this vitriol? Because he coaches hard? Because he's a jerk? Is that what it is? He's a jerk.
He's a real jerk on
okay, so
here it is. The most
I work with a ton of jerks.
Well, here it is. Is basically Johan Franza is basically coming. The most damning allegation Mike Babcock came from former Red Wing Johan Franza, spoke similar about Babcock's abusive behavior. He's a terrible person, the worst I've ever met. He's a bully who's attacking people. It could be cleaner at the arena in Detroit or anybody, and he would lay into people without any reason on there. With that is, let's see here. Chris Chelios, basically some of the things he said to him on the bench, I don't know. He said him behind closed doors one-on-one. He blatantly verbally assaulted him during a game on the bench. He got to the point where the poor Johan didn't know really knowing he was suffering with a concussion thing and depression thing. He just broke down, had a nervous breakdown, not only on the bench but after the game in one of the rooms in Nashville. It was probably the worst things he's ever seen. And that's another example with Babcock on there. This is talking to Pierre LeBron, Babcock offered a little acknowledgement. Would he done anything wrong as a coach, or reflected on his behavior on it? So, and this is just in the USA Today last month.
Yeah, to me, it's whatever, dude. Whatever. I'm sorry. It's rich people problems. You're whining because your boss is too hard on you and you don't like it. You know, the Franzen, the whole Franzen concussion scenario and this and that and the other fucking thing. Franzen, to me, and don't tell me fan base didn't fucking talk this same fucking shit the whole fucking time. Dude, that guy fucking dogged it here. That dude dogged it here. Fan base talked about it all the fucking time. That contract was an albatross, and Franzen dogged it here. And they overpaid him, and they paid him, and he didn't do shit.
Well, they paid him on there because what he had in that one playoff run on there, and again, with the concussion that he had and the damage that he did on there, it did have long-term effects with it.
Sure.
I mean, he couldn't even sit in a room with boys going like this.
Right.
I mean, basically,
I get it. I get that. And if he's handling the protocol and doing what he's supposed to do, I don't understand why, that's a Babcock problem. That's not what he's there for.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if he's following the concussion protocol and doing the things that the league requires him to do from a standpoint of dealing with this guy's injury, dude, you can't fucking use that as an excuse to be mad at him.
Well, I don't know if they really.
So and that's what that one sounds like to me. He was mad about how he handled his concussion situation, and now he's pissed, and so he's calling him out.
I think with the concussion, they didn't know what the damage was. They
right, exactly.
And now we know after the
fact this
is how much damage was
exactly,
done by the
exactly. And he's still blaming him for that.
Well, I don't know if he blames him on it. I think he's blaming Babcock.
But that's
for
what
the way
he.
Babcock was treating
but that's
him
the way he.
Because
That's
they weren't sure what the
that's what right. Exactly. They weren't sure. They didn't know. They didn't understand the concussion scenario, and they treated it as such, as they would treat all these other guys. If you're talking about, I can't play because I got a headache.
Well,
right? Because it's a tough guy league, right?
Right, but all
okay.
The Wings couldn't sign in free agents because they wouldn't play for them.
Right, because you've got guys like Franzen going around talking shit.
Well, you also had Mike Commodore, you had Chris Chelios. I mean, we couldn't get anybody in here worth a damn free agent-wise because they would not play for Babcock.
That's not the only reason. That's not the only reason. Dude, it's not a coincidence that they took a shit when the salary cap took a dump. When they had a salary cap, they fucking shit the bed every year since. Well, that's not a coincidence.
Well, also you got Ken Holland basically screwed it because he didn't manage it well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not a coincidence.
I mean, we did get the two.
So you can talk about free agents not coming, but they couldn't fucking pay him anyway.
Well, we did get the two Stanley Cups after the salary cap was already in place on that. That was the 08 and the 09. We went to the Stanley Cup in 09. Didn't win it, but we did win the 08 one on there. But again, with that...
Right, with those contracts were already in place.
Right,
that wasn't even an issue.
Also, too, is they basically drafted better, too. And in the last years of Holland, he didn't draft. He drafted like terrible.
Well, they didn't draft great. They drafted the middle of the road. They bought them championships. Let's be real.
Well, they bought.
They were the Yankees of the NHL.
They bought the 02 championship. I mean, granted, that's a no-brainer on that. But we didn't buy the 97 championship. We didn't buy the 98 championship. Those were the cats down there. They're the only free agent. They didn't really sign. Shanahan was a trade, so that wasn't a free agent wise. Most of these guys were basically brought up here or made through trades. We didn't sign
97, yes.
Yeah, 97,
everything after that.
97 and 98 were the two on there. 02, the championship, they won 02, they bought it. Because you look at that team. I mean, come on.
Dude, every team after that they paid for.
Every
team. Look at every team after that. They were buying championships. Whether they won them or not, that's what they were paying for. I'm not hearing that shit. They drafted middle down the road.
Without the salary cap was the 02 one that they paid for.
Right.
By 05, the salary, when the lockout happened in honor, they had the salary cap already in place in it.
Right, and they were already locked in. And then once the salary cap affected them, they dropped off. It was a hard cap.
It already affected them.
Right, and they dropped off. Right.
We won in 08 and we went to it in 09.
Right.
But again, they didn't have the free agents in 08 and 09 that we had in 02.
Right, they couldn't sign them.
They couldn't sign them, but we
right,
still won.
Because they couldn't deal with the fucking salary cap because they bought all those players. They bought all along the way. That's why it was like that.
Well, again, by 08,
like I said, they drafted the middle of the road.
But 08, Brett Hall was already gone. I mean, Chelios.
Right, but tell me who they drafted that was above and beyond the middle of the road. I mean, give me a totality of those drafts and tell me that they didn't draft the middle of the road. And the reason they were contenders is because they brought players in and paid. You can't tell me that. 97, I'll give you.
Datsuk was drafted. His first year rookie year
right.
was 02.
Right.
He was part of the 08-09. They
Correct.
drafted him.
Correct. One player. Keep it coming. Give me a list of where they did anything above the middle of the board.
What's his name? The former captain on there. He just retired.
But he was brought in before that.
He was signed. His first year was 02. He was drafted on that with it. Again, we didn't have a whole lot of salary cap on it. We brought back Jimmy Osgood, came back for the 08 and 09 run with it. We still had Lindstrom, who was drafted on there because he played 20 years on there, was with it. Rafalski was a middle of the road free agent wise in signing, but local kid came back home in that with it. Franza was drafted, who had a good run in 08 and 09, but then didn't do anything after that.
He was a bust. I'm sorry. He had one good year. 09 was not a good year.
We should have signed was who signed up with oh God. We signed was came from Pittsburgh, came here, went to Chicago. We should have signed him instead of Holster. I mean Franza, but that was that.
Well, you were already deep. That Franzen was already done before you could make that deal.
No, they re-signed him instead of Hossa. Hossa we got in 08 or 09.
Right, you weren't re-signing Hossa though. You couldn't.
They re-signed Franz instead of Hossa.
Right, but they couldn't. They weren't going to sign. They weren't. That's why they signed Franzen, because they couldn't. They weren't going to come to a deal.
They could have done one or the other. They basically what they paid Franza, they paid the same thing for. I mean, Chicago paid for Hossa. We should have kept Hossa, not Franza, but that's that.
Yeah, no, like I said, yeah. I mean, once again, it was a middle of the board draft, dude. Most of the time, with the exception of a player or two, they drafted the middle of the road. They did not bring.
The last 10 years, I don't even think it was middle of the road.
Okay,
I
then.
mean, you got lucky a couple times. You got lucky. Maybe we'll see with Matha. And
right, and it's like, once again, it's not a coincidence that this stuff came in the salary cap era. You can blame Babcock all you want. That is not what crippled this team. Did it help? No, but it's not what crippled this fucking team. And I'm sick of hearing that shit because it's not real.
Well, again,
that's just a narrative because you're mad at a fucking guy.
I'm just saying by basically what players is on there now. Babcock's not going to get another job in the NHL.
Right, because they're going to fucking blackball him because they're fucking butthurt. But they didn't say a goddamn thing at the time. Where the fuck was all this fucking 10 years ago? I mean, shut the fuck up with that.
Well, I'm just saying what they
I know what they're saying. I know what they're saying. And they're not saying anything specific. They're saying they don't like the guy. They think he's a jerk, and they don't want him in the league.
Okay. And that's basically what they said.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But all I know is we couldn't sign free agents wise when he was coaching here.
Right. Well, yeah, but
we couldn't. I mean, even the free agents that we did sign on there, that we overpaid, like Mike Green and that, Mike Commodore, we even overpaid for them.
Right.
But we couldn't get any quality on there. We had to overpay for guys to come here and on it with it.
And you think that's a Babcock problem?
I think Babcock had a thing on there because I don't think players were going to play.
All right, that's cool. We'll just have to agree to disagree because that's batshit crazy. Because it's just that's not how that shit really flies like that. If you're going to bring in free agents and you've got all this stuff going on, you're going to bring cats in. Babcock's not going to be what stops guys without this. Okay, this whole coming out party and talking about this.
They've been talking about that in the local on there for even before he got let go here. That Detroit couldn't get any free agents.
Because of the way he treated guys.
The way he treated
that was not the narrative here. That was not the narrative here, Moose. That was not the narrative here. I'm sorry. No, that was never the narrative here. I mean, give me one link to an article at a Detroit publication that said that before he got let go. Yeah, that would be the key because that was not the narrative here. That was not what was talked about on the radio. That's not what fans were talking about here. That was not the narrative. When we did these shows here, that was not the fucking narrative. That never came up. That was not the narrative. So I'm not saying that people don't like the fucking guy. I get that. But if you're telling me that the narrative was that they can't get anything done free agent wise because Babcock is here, that was not the narrative. It just wasn't. So, and that's cool. We're in the cancel culture times. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
You don't like somebody, you just fucking ruin their lives. You know, it's simple. You don't have to give specifics. You don't have to say anything tangible. You just got to say, he was mean to me. That's all you got to do. And that's what that is. That's what that is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
It's he was mean to me, and I don't want him here, so it's cancel culture time. But, nobody else in this bubble are saying that shit. Nobody else outside, just a handful of these guys that worked with him that are mad at him. That wasn't the narrative when he was here.
I think the type of coaching he does, it wears out.
Oh, no doubt. I don't doubt that at all.
No,
it's the same thing with the Harbaugh situation, right?
Yeah.
You coach a certain kind of way, and it rubs all kinds of people the wrong way. I get that shit. But Harbaugh's not blackballed from coaching.
No. But he wears his welcome out. I didn't say
sure. But that's a different story than what is going on with him.
On the players,
I understand that. I'm not killing the messenger, Moose. I'm asking for the information.
Well, I'm just saying on it. But I think more of the line is his term for most. I mean, he lasted longer here than Anaheim when they got rid of him, and he lasted longer here than he did in Toronto. But I think it's the way he went. Again, obviously Billy Martin on there basically wears people thin on there. Belichick would be on there, but they kept winning damn Super Bowls.
Well, yeah, Belichick would be gone in 3 years.
Right.
So I get that.
Whereas again, you could give the same aspect with quirkiness and on there. As I said, Scotty Bowman, but Scotty Bowman fucking won. And plus he's Scotty.
But this is my thing too. It's still bullshit with Belichick. It's bullshit because you ain't got nothing to say until you don't win.
Right.
And then when you're not winning, when things aren't going your way, then it's a problem.
Right.
Dude, you're using that cancel culture and you're inciting shit because you're mad. Because you don't feel dude, it's not right. It's not like he fucking committed a crime or did something horrible to somebody, dude. He hurt your feelings. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done with that. You don't ruin people's careers because they hurt your feelings.
Well, I think I say more like the Billy Martin. He could only win so long, and then basically.
Sure, I understand that.
Have a short window of time.
We're having two different conversations. Is what we're doing because I get that. I 100% agree with that. But that's not what is happening with cancel. That's not what's happening here. That is not, I wore out my welcome and people are done with me here. That is, he's long gone and now I'm piling on. Now I'm talking shit and now I'm affecting his career outside when it's already been addressed, when it's already been dealt with. When it isn't even what you're saying it is. When you're making assumptions about a man's intention when you don't know. And then you're effectively attacking his livelihood because of it. Because you have hurt feelings. That's what that is. That's what all that is. I mean, he didn't state anything specific. He didn't come in there and say that he the way he talks down to him in a certain kind of way. He doesn't say that it's like this trauma all the time. And where the fuck is everybody else? And where the fuck were you when it was happening? You're waiting till now. And then nobody else around in his circle is saying that shit. Just players that he hurt their feelings. Right. Which is he's going to do because he's that kind of guy.
I mean,
to me that's it's
some of these
nonsense.
articles have been going back for about 2 years now, and that's only 2 years. So it's
right.
Really,
that's my point.
It
wasn't the narrative here. I'm not trying to kill you, Moose. I'm just telling you that at the time, that was not the narrative
everything
here.
I've heard was after he left in 2015 anyway.
So right, exactly. Exactly. That's my point. Thank you. That's my point. That's what I was trying to get out of you, Moose, and you got all mad. And I'm trying to tell you
I'm not mad.
that's my point. That's my point, that was not the narrative when he was here.
Yeah,
that wasn't the narrative until he was long gone.
Yeah, and I look on there, and it's basically 2015. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, he's been gone that long.
Yeah, sour grapes is what that shit is. So and that's what I'm saying. You know, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but like I know my brain doesn't remember everything, but I know what the fuck was going on there. So That's how that is. And you know what? We talk about all kinds of stuff, guys, and people want to look at things in all these crazy ways, right? And we talk about divide and how the media divides us, and they blame this and that and the other thing, and it's not about those things. We got to look at certain things, right? The media, let's go back in time, right? The media was a newspaper, right? Starts off as a newspaper. It's informative. You go to get your information from it. It's pretty non-biased. That's what you want. Then radio comes along, right? And now you have a new way to disseminate that news and more options. So now the newspaper is not as popular. So now we're going to do like Dear Abby articles, and we're going to put coupons in the newspaper, and we're going to do other things that get you to look at the newspaper, because instead of just ignoring it for the radio. Then TV comes out, and now the radio, the spoken word, and the wordsmith isn't good enough, because now you've got news clippings and video to go along with it. And so now the radio has to do more, and they say crazy stuff, and you get shock jocks, right? No, this is the evolution of how this works, right? Okay? So I just want to speak to how this thing goes, right? So then you start to see a lean, right, on bias in media, right? Because now it's you're fighting for viewership, right? You have to sell newspapers to stay in business. You got to have listeners to stay on the air, and you got to have viewers to keep sponsors. So you have to have ratings to stay on. So now things get slanted. Your media gets slanted because not only do we have to try to report the news, but we got to put some funny stuff or goofy stuff or whatever in there to get people to come to us instead of all the other options, right? Which is right now at this point, we're only talking about morning news, evening news, on TV, radio, and print. Then cable comes along, and you get a 24-hour news cycle. There isn't enough shit happening in 24 hours, so now you're making up stuff, right? And now even more people are putting their opinions in line in this. And so now media is slanting even more. Okay? And that's the progression of media. Then we learn about computers, and we all get home computers, and we get MySpace, and we're so happy to come home to MySpace and take an hour and a half to fire up our computer to see the 3 messages that people sent us. But now the world is really shrinking, and we can reach out all over the place. And then now regular media is like, okay, well, since people are now consuming information so fast via the internet, we have to get it out even faster on our medium. And so now it's not accurate. No. So now we're just pumping shit out because we got to compete with the Joneses. So now the media has been bastardized by the evolution of itself. And it's eating itself, right? So then you fast forward, and computers are now the same computer that took an hour to fire up, that you needed to do all this stuff for your MySpace, you got twice that power in your pocket, in your phone, and social media's taken off. You got Twitter, you got TikTok, you got this, you got that, and the world has gotten smaller. And I went from knowing whatever came on the Pony Express on the newspaper that took me 6 months to get. I knew that little bit of information, right? Then I knew a little bit more because of the radio. Then I knew a little bit more because of the TV. Then I knew a little bit more because of the 24-hour news cycle. Then I learned a little bit more about the fucking internet. Then they made these smartphones and social media. And now I know everything about every piece of shit on the face of this fucking planet. I know everything they do, everything they think, because they have no fear of repercussions, because they will hide behind the First Amendment and their cell phone or their computer.
Anonymity,
because they don't know what's going on, and they feel emboldened to say and do whatever. So when people come on here and make this big fucking thing about how media is controlling the situation and is controlling the divide in this country, all I can do is laugh, because if that is true, then we are all the sheeple that you claim to not be. And I refuse to believe that we are those sheep. But you know what we are? You really, really want to know what's going on? You want to know why there is such a fucking divide? It's not a conspiracy. It's not the media. It's super fucking simple. It's us. Yes. We cause the divide. We know about every little thought that's in the head of every insignificant person on this planet, no matter what they are to you, no matter where they're at, continents, states, counties away. When you were a kid, the only bubble you knew was your neighborhood. in your city, in your town, in your county, in your state, in your country. Now you've got 100 continents and everybody that you can reach to. And I'm going to tell you something. Knowing what's in the minds and hearts of all these people is bad for your health.
Yes.
That is causing the divide. We are causing the divide in this country. It's not the media. It's not the politicians. It's not the paid servants, because that's what they are. They're not our leaders. Stop it.
We've met the enemy, and he's us.
Bam. Bam. Every day we close the show with every week we close the show with, be good to each other, treat each other right, and be nice, and all those things. And we do it for a reason, because we know that we are the cause of our own fucking divide, and we'll be the cause of our own demise, I guess, probably in the end. But let's slow it down, people. Let's pump the brakes. Be good to each other. Love each other like we love you.
And be nice. And peace out, brother.
Peace. See you next week.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.